So, you are a knowledge worker. You are a professional. And you've been a corporate citizen. And you've been very good at your job. But you've been thinking about breaking free, go out there and start your own business. But then the challenge becomes, what business is easy, possible, plausible, practical for you to start? Okay? What business or what business ideas are pie in the sky or out of your possibility, out of your ability for you to start at this stage of your life? All right? And that is what we're going to be talking about in today's class. All right? Different business ideas, their level of difficulties, their levels of complexities, and their levels of challenges for a corporate citizen, a knowledge worker, okay, a professional, okay. You were not born rich, okay. You don't have $1 trillion, okay, $1 trillion laying in the bank waiting for you, okay. And so if that's the situation for you, what business or businesses, okay, are easy or easier for you to start, for you to get into, for you to transition out of corporate life into being a boss for yourself. And that is what we are going to be talking about today. By the way, we are not talking about entity structuring, all right? We are not talking about if you should set yourself up as a sole proprietor or a partnership or a LLC or a S corporation or a C corporation. And that is if you're in the US or in some other countries, if you should set you up as a proprietary limited, PTY Ltd. No, that's not what we are going to be talking about in today's class. All right? That is a question for you and your accountant, your tax accountant, all right, and your lawyer. That's not what we are going to be talking about in today's class. All right, just a little bit of explanation there. We're going to be talking about the actual business, the logistics of business, the financing of businesses. All right. So let's start with easy. Okay, or the easiest thing you can do as a corporate citizen. All right, to put yourself effectively in business for yourself. All right, that is, you're actually still part of the corporate world, but you're only getting all the benefits of working with the corporate world, avoiding the majority, if not all of the downside as a corporate citizen. Okay, and I can give you two categories of doing this. The first category is to get into doing contract work as opposed to being a full-time employee. Allow me to give you 3 different examples. Okay, I was an IT engineer for many years, and I became a contractor IT engineer. That is, I did the same actual job as a corporate IT engineer, took care of their infrastructure, but I was not an employee of the corporation. I was a contractor. I got a 3-month, 6-month contract, all right, to get the project done. And the pay was actually probably twice as much as a full-time employee. and you do from contract to contract to contract. And as the contract ends, okay, which is when you completed the project, you did whatever the corporation hired you to do, you go on to another corporation, you find yourself another contract, okay? And each contract, there's so much learning opportunity for you to beef up, to improve what's on your resume. So each contract, not only do you earn twice as much money, you also get to learn new things to keep on beefing up your resume, so your rate as a contractor just keep on increasing. This is something that you don't get as a employee, because as an employee IT engineer, you only get to play with the technologies that are required to be used, that are being used by your employer. If you want to beef up your resume to improve your abilities, you don't get to play the things that's out there, that's the latest, the hottest, that are not being deployed, not being used by your current employer. If your current employer, refuse to upgrade their system and then becoming a company that uses all dinosaur systems, then your skill set will also become obsolete. You will also become a technical dinosaur, and your employability on the market is being reduced every year, every 6 months, and you are going to have trouble finding employment elsewhere should anything happen to your job. So becoming a contractor, you get paid twice as much, and you're never stuck in one single place with one single corporation. And each contract, you're learning something new. You're working on something you have never worked on before. You're learning on the job. And once you learned it, it's on your resume. Your resume looks so much better than 6 months ago. And your rate as a contractor, how much you can charge your clients, that's the corporations, just keep on increasing, all right? So if you have one of those professions, if you have one of those specialized knowledge, all right, this is a way for you to keep on making money from the corporations without any of the downsides of being a full-time employee. All that HR, all that whatever, okay? It's all eliminated, all right? The second possibility, second example, okay, is a software developer, okay? You write code, okay? You can write it for employer A or employer B or employer C, okay? You could do it as a full-time employee, or you could do it as a contractor, okay? It's the same thing, okay? Even better, okay? That is, you can write code from home, which means you don't have to commute to the office, at least not 5 times a week, okay? Or better still, you can find employment, okay, elsewhere, like not in your city, not within 1 hour drive of your city, okay? It can be global, international, okay? Employment with some employer that's on the other end of the world. So your possibility of employment or business opportunities just opened all the way up, okay, internationally. And, all right, you could find employment in your own city, but then you yourself could travel. You could go live in a country with lower cost of living. Or you might want to travel, so you go live in a different country every 3 months. You're in a different country. And you may stick with the same employer or different employers. It doesn't matter where you are. As long as you can schedule yourself when there is a live meeting over the internet, okay? As long as you can you're disciplined enough, okay, you can reschedule your life. So when those meetings are up, you are able to attend those meetings, all right? Then you could live anywhere in the world, okay, and still write software for large corporations, but you don't have to deal with any of the shenanigans of being an employee, all right? And you make more money than being an employee, all right? And I have seen electrical engineers, okay? They build themselves a lab, okay, either at home or at some whatever commercial rented facility, all right? They take contract work from large corporations. No, they are never an employee, okay? They are a contractor, all right? Be it 3 months, 6 months, even 1 year, to get the job done, to get the project done, all right? It's research, okay? It's design, it's improvement, or what have you. They have their own equipment. They have their own laboratory. They are capable of doing their own hardware design. Okay, they can even write their own software. And they are not using the employer's laboratory, the employer's equipment. They're using their own equipment, their own laboratory, which they built up, okay, themselves. So they are still making money, okay, from the corporate world, okay, and it's no different from being an employee, okay, in terms of the actual content of the work. But, okay, they get paid twice as much, and they don't have to deal with any of the downsides, all the things that you don't like, all the things you hate about being a corporate citizen. So they kept what they love, okay, which is their profession, which is essentially their hobby, be it IT, be it software development, be it electrical engineering, or what have you, okay? But they don't have to deal with any of the downsides anymore. No HR, no shenanigans, none of those meetings you don't want to attend, okay? And office gossip, okay, in the cubicle farm, or listening to someone talking about what have you that you don't want to hear, that's interrupting you being focused, okay, deep thought, okay, doing your work, all right? Those all disappeared, all right? So that's the easiest thing to get into if you're a highly skilled professional and your actual profession allows you to get into such a arrangement, okay? And is this easy or doable for you, the actual arrangement? Well, it depends on where you live, all right? It depends on the corporation who is hiring you to do this work, all right? You got to talk to your tax accountant, okay? You got to talk to a lawyer about setting yourself up in your own jurisdiction, okay? Your state, your country, all right? But this is completely doable, and plenty professionals are doing it and enjoying the benefit, all right? They do the work they love, and then they make twice as much money. They don't have to deal with any of the reasons why you hate being a corporate citizen, and they can take time off because they're now making twice as much money, okay? After a 6-month contract, okay? Who is to say you can't take a week off? You can't take a month off, all right? You made a lot of money, okay? Now it's time for you to relax, recharge, rejuvenate, all right? Go to another country or learn something new. Learn some of the latest development about your own profession, about your own industry. All right? So that's the easiest thing to get into if you're a corporate citizen and you are sick and tired of the corporate world. You want to break out, you want to break free, you want to be out there on your own. All right? That's the easiest thing to get into. The next level of getting yourself away from being a corporate citizen and into being in business for yourself as much as possible is to get into sales. All right. First, you get into sales with salary plus commission. And after you've done that for a while, once you learn enough about sales, all right, if you're ready to jump, okay, get into 100% commission-based only, commission-only sales. Okay, that is just the next giant step for you to get into business for yourself. And the major advantage for getting into sales while being a corporate citizen is the sales training. The corporate world, the corporation, your employer, okay, they will teach you everything you need to know about sales, about business, about negotiation, about the concerns of businesses, both on the selling side and the buying side, okay, the manufacturing side, the supplying side, the storage side, all of those concerns, all right, all of those things you need to worry about, you need to know about, you will get to learn them from your position as a salesperson, all right, with commission or commission only, no salary. Your manager, your sales manager will train you. The corporation will train you. They will support you. They will back you up. And you can ask them questions, business-related questions. Okay, why would someone want to buy this? What sort of person will be buying this? Okay, why would they want to buy this? Okay, how do I present the product to them? All right, what's the difference between feature and benefit? All right, how do I make sales presentations? Okay, how do I influence and persuade people? How do I talk to people? How do I listen to people? How do I listen to what is it that they really want? How do I listen to their pain points? How do I utilize their pain points to help them to realize they need to buy this product and buy it from me? And so on and so forth. All right. So getting a position within the corporation as a corporate citizen with salary, but in sales with commission is a great start. It is a great stepping stone. Okay. It's a great training. All right. Rite of passage for you to transition from being a corporate citizen to being in business for yourself. All right. And you are utilizing their structure, their hierarchy, their system. Okay. For you to learn, for you to practice, and for you to profit from. Well, it's mutually beneficial between you and the corporation. So getting to sales, getting to commission sales, okay, it's a great pathway to starting your own business. And you kind of sort of like feels like you're already in business for yourself. Imagine you're a distributor of some big brand name, big brand manufacturing company, and you're selling their product. Okay, it's essentially the same thing. Okay, imagine eventually one day you become a dealer of some automobile brand. Okay, some major brand cars, and you're a one of the major local dealerships in the city or in the state. Okay, you're one of the biggest, or you're one of the smallest. It doesn't matter. Okay. You're selling that brand's product. It's the same thing as you're just a salesperson, okay, with commission selling for a corporation, be it medical equipment or IT hardware or IT service contracts or what have you, okay? So sales, that's another easy thing for you to get into to start your own business, okay? All right. In the next level up, okay, in the next scenario, in terms of starting your own business, okay, let's say you have quit your corporate job, all right? You have successfully escaped, okay? You have a business of your own, all right? It's so much easier to sell your own labor, your own knowledge, right? Your own insights by the hour than if you had inventory, if you're selling merchandise. From a business point of view, okay? So this can be you working from home, okay? You are working as a graphic artist, okay? Design some graphics on the computer for your customers, and your customers can be anywhere in the world. All right. This can be you doing video editing for your customers. Your customers can be anywhere in the world, and you are working from home. You will never meet your customers. Okay, you talk to them over email and maybe telephone the most. A lot of times it's just emails. All right. Here we're not talking about marketing. How do you attract new customers? How do you retain existing customers? We're just talking about business logistics, business financing, okay? The easiest thing for you to do, if you don't have a lot of capital, but you do have a skill, okay, in terms of business, is to sell you labor, you knowledge, all right? And examples of them can be your knowledge in graphic design, your knowledge in video editing, okay? This can even be bookkeeping, okay? I don't mean doing taxes. That's another level up. One level down from doing tax return is to do bookkeeping, regular weekly, monthly bookkeeping, okay? For a small business, okay? A small business with inventory, with merchandise, with employees, and their accounting can be very complicated, and it requires a professional bookkeeper to keep track. And that's another example. So in these scenarios, all right, all you need is working from home, okay? If your family members are not interrupting you, okay, you might need a computer and then reliable or fast enough internet connectivity. So those are all the capital investment you need, all right? Some area in your personal residence and some part of the day, 8 hours a day, your family members are not interrupting you, and a safe, secure, fast enough internet connectivity, and a good enough of a computer, right? That's all the capital investment you would need. And the next level up, okay, in terms of investment, in terms of difficulty, okay, is doing the same thing as the previous section that we talked about, that you're doing bookkeeping, you're doing graphic design, okay, you're doing video editing or what have you from home, but you need to engage in, you need to participate in video conferencing, all right, with customers, with whoever, all right. Now the easy part is to invest in a good enough camera or a good enough microphone. And you could very well just start with the computer's built-in microphone and built-in camera. And if you want to invest in an external camera or external microphone, you can always start with something rather inexpensive to get yourself started with. Okay. Now that's the easy part, the camera and the microphone. Okay. The next level up, okay, in terms of difficulty, when it comes to video conferencing with your external customers or what have you, is your background. Okay. And if you're in a messy apartment and your desk is facing the corner and the background is your very messy studio apartment, okay, and that can be a challenge. And the easiest thing for you to do is to turn your desk around so you are facing your own messy apartment, and the camera is facing you, and behind you is just the corner of the apartment. It's just two walls forming a corner. Okay. Now the next level of challenge is you are living in a noisy place. Okay. This can be you have young children and they're making a lot of noise. This can be you have a pet, a dog that likes to bark, okay? Or this can be your family member are musicians and they need to practice the piano or the violin during the day, or they are music teachers and they teach during the day with their students. So those are the next level challenges of working from home. So your logistics becomes challenging. You will have to work out maybe some kind of a time thing with your family member. You will have to rearrange your home office so you don't show the messy apartment and a messy kitchen. Okay? So that's the next level up. And next level up in terms of investment, in terms of logistics, yes, you're a knowledge worker, okay? You're selling your wisdom, your knowledge, you work from home, okay? You need to see clients, and you need to see clients beyond just video conferencing. They need to come to see you, all right? And at your home, all right? You don't want to invest renting a commercial facility and you pay a monthly rent and you have to commute to there. Okay, you don't want to do that. You want to do this at home. So this could be you're a music teacher. You teaching piano. You teaching violin. Okay. Usually, if you're a piano tutor, okay, you already have a piano. That's already invested. So I'm not counting that as a required investment, money requirement. But you do need to have a facility, a house. You must live in a place whereby if kids came and play the piano, your neighbors are not going to complain. They're not going to call the condo association, the homeowner association. They're not going to call the police about you playing the piano or your students playing the piano during the day because I work night shift. I must sleep during the day. So if you play the piano, I'm going to call the police on you. So your residential situation must be able to accommodate you playing the piano, and the neighbors are not going to complain. Okay. Now, what if you are a tax agent? What if you do tax return? What if you do tax planning? What if you're a counselor, a therapist, okay, a psychiatrist, a psychologist, or what have you? You need to see people. What if you're a marketing consultant? What if you're a sales trainer, all right? You have people come to your residence, okay, and to take either consultation, pay you by the hour, all right, you provide coaching to them, you do your consultation, you have some kind of a setup in your personal residence, you have a corner of a section of your home, you have built a whatever something, you have converted your garage into an office or what have you. So that is the next level up, okay? If you're going to have people coming in, you must feel like you're a professional. Okay, you got the whole thing set up. So this is gonna probably require you to invest time and energy and money. All right, to convert the garage, that's gonna require time, effort, money. So that's gonna be investment, and also it's gonna be allowed. Are you renting the garage, or are you renting the house? So are you allowed to convert the garage? All right. And is your house? Are you renting the house? Are you renting? Or are you buying the house? Are you living in an apartment? Okay, all of this are gonna take into consideration. It's gonna be part of your investment consideration. All right. Do you have the ability? All right. Sometimes you may not have the money. You're stuck in an apartment. You don't have the money to even rent a house. That's just you're just being priced out because of where you live, because of whatever savings you have. All right. You might consider these savings. You know, I can do this for a year. I have enough savings. I can move out of my apartment, okay, go rent a house and use part of the house for my business. And the increased cost of leasing, my savings in my bank can cover myself with no income for my corporate job for 1 month, for 1 year, for 5 years. And everybody's situation is different, and those are the numbers you need to take into consideration to help you to get your business off the ground. Okay, so you monthly burn rate, that's your speed, and your total savings, that's the length of your runway. If you don't get off the ground by the time you reach the end of your runway, you are going to crash and burn. So all of this are going to be part of your math to calculate how you're going to get your business off the ground. Okay, for your great escape from the corporate world. Now, our next example, okay, is pet grooming. All right, this business model is such a great example for me to use to teach the next point. All right, you could invest, all right, in installation, conversion of part of your house, all right, to have pet owners come in to drop off their cats and dogs. And then you have a part of your house that's converted into pet grooming, their haircuts, and you have professional leashes, and you stand up and they are on like the height of a standing table, and you have a shower station that you can shower them with shampoos and all that, okay? All with all the right amount of leash, professional leash, and so on and so forth. All right? Or will the city require you to come and get a permit? Depends on where you live. Okay? Or you might find this not the best for you. Okay? Maybe you don't live in a house. Maybe your house is not possible to be converted. Maybe the city wouldn't allow you. Maybe the neighborhood wouldn't allow you. All right? So you end up getting a van and converting it into a pet grooming van. You will have water tanks, fresh water, all right, and gray water. Okay? You will need to have electricity to run your water pumps. Okay? You will need a generator to provide more electricity for you to run your air conditioner, because without powerful air conditioning, you're not going to be able to work in the van. Okay, even if you can endure it, all right, the government is not going to allow you to have the pet in there. Okay, that's against the law. You can abuse yourself, but you can't abuse pets. So you might want to invest in a pet grooming van. And how much money is that? Maybe minimum $5,000 on the van and $5,000 for the conversion. All right. Now, your business is headquartered at home in the garage, where you keep all the shampoo and all the other stuff, and then you You fill the van with fresh water in the morning, and then you discharge the gray water at night. All right, but you're not doing the actual pet grooming at home. You're doing the actual pet grooming at the pet owner's house, on their driveway, okay, in your van. Okay, so that's the next level of investment that you will have to get out of there, using your house as the headquarters, but you will have to be out there. And similar business setups, okay, include things like landscaping, okay. Your home, your garage, right, is the headquarters where you keep all the equipment and everything else. And then your truck, right, is where you put all your tools and lawnmowers and everything on the truck. And you go from house to house to house, right, to do landscaping, okay. That's another business model. Or maybe you're a carpenter, all right, you're a contractor. You do handyman work, you do house repair. So again, your home is the headquarters, okay, with all your tools and your materials and your truck, your van, right? Yes, your business, you roam around from house to house, okay? This can be a locksmith, okay, a plumber, all right, and landscaping, okay, even a mobile car mechanic. So you don't have a facility, you're not paying rent to rent a commercial facility to fix cars, and you are just by yourself, right? You take calls and you go to the car owners' places, okay, to fix their cars. I have seen mobile car glasses repair. So it's just a guy with a little van, okay? Obviously, his home is the headquarters where he keep all his stuff, all his tools, all his material, and his van. And during the day, he'll just go answering call from call to call to call to go to people's homes to fix their broken windows, wooden window won't come up, window won't go down, okay? I even know mobile piano tutors. Okay. In this regard, okay, all she needs is her personal car. Right? He doesn't need to go around with the big piano, and she will go to the students' houses. Right, they already have a piano there, and then she will go. Monday I'm in this neighborhood. Or I only do mobile on Saturday and Sunday. So on Saturday, I'm in this neighborhood. On Sunday, I'm in the other neighborhood. So all the kids that want to learn from this neighborhood, I go there on Saturday. And all the kids want to learn from this neighborhood, I go there on Sunday. Okay, so that's a mobile piano tutor. I've even seen mobile math tutors, all right? And the tutor will meet the student in a public library. Okay, and then they'll start teaching calculus, individual coaching. All right, what is it that you don't get? All right, we're talking about finding the maximum rate of change. And that's the beauty of calculus. And I'm coaching you in a library. All right, and I've seen plumbers. All right, they would rent a storage unit to keep all their material, all their tools, and all their stuff that they don't use very often. Right. And they have a van that they drive home, and maybe they don't have a garage or something. So when they need extra stuff, they go to their storage facility. So that's another extra cost. But other than the piano tutor and then the math tutor, okay, the dog grooming, the landscaping, the mobile mechanic, the plumber, the electrician, right? They need to invest in a van and then all of their tools. So you're talking about investment now, all right? And this is now for real. You need money to invest in your vehicle and your tools for you to do your business. This is no longer you're just selling your knowledge by the hour or by the piece, all right? In addition to your knowledge about landscaping, dog grooming, and fixing cars, fixing car windows, okay, you also need to have tools. And they are 10, 20, 30, 40, $50,000 of investment. Sure, you can get them slowly, which means when you don't have those expensive tools, you can't do those jobs that would require those tools. So you're going to start slow doing jobs that only require bare minimum of tools. So that's the next level. And at this level, you need to invest more than just a laptop. We're talking $10, $20, $30,000. All of our previous examples up to this point, okay, are all to do with your selling yourself, your knowledge, okay, your insights, your wisdom, your skills. You're selling it by the hour or by the piece. By the hour, in the examples of a piano tutor, a math tutor, okay, by the piece in the examples of dog grooming, by the piece in the examples of dog grooming, okay, plumbing, landscaping, okay, car repair, car window repair, okay. Now, the advantage of that is if you have the skills, right, it's easy. You can get into it right away. And the accounting, okay, is relatively easy because all you need is to add up your total income and then add up your total expenses. And if you invested in any capital equipment, okay, you need to figure out their depreciation terms, all right? All of this, you can just keep all your receipts in a shoebox, all right? You can add them up yourself by the end of the year and then give it to your tax agent, all right? And then they can take care of it. You sort of don't need to hire a bookkeeper to come do your books on a weekly, monthly basis, sometimes on a daily basis, all right? So it's easy to get started, and the accounting is easy. But the downside is, if you're getting paid by the hour, how many hours are there in a day? Can you work 24 hours a day? And can you duplicate yourself? Can you multiply yourself? All right? So your earning upper limit potential is up to what you can charge per hour and how many hours a day, how many hours a week, how many weeks a year you're willing to work. All right? In the next category, okay, the next level up, we're going to be talking about selling more than just yourself. Now we're going to sell merchandises. We're going to sell physical goods, and we are going to make profit from buying low, selling high. And the simplest examples of this can be you're selling shoes, okay, used shoes, slightly used shoes, all right? You buy it for $100, you sell it for $150, okay? Or you're selling, say, used musical instruments, or you're selling used electronic musical equipment, or you're selling hi-fi equipment, okay, stereo higher-end equipment used, okay? This was the top of the line, 10 years ago or 20 years ago, it was $10,000, but now you can buy one for $1,000 and sell it for $2,000, okay? There are just endless examples of this. If the margin between buy low and sell high is big enough, the worth your effort, okay, say a pair of shoes that you make $50, okay, it doesn't work. It's not worth it if the margin is 50 cents and you have to deal with it individually, okay? Or in case of some used communication equipment to be used by large offices, or some used high-end musical instruments, or some higher-end stereo equipment, the margin is easily $100, if not $1,000, okay? Number one. Number two, the pieces are small enough. small enough so you can store it in your living room, your bedroom, your garage. Even if you go on there, you rent a commercial facility, okay? And it's not too wide, it will come through the front door. And it's not too heavy that you can ship it, use shipping companies like FedEx, UPS, DHL. If it's too bulky and too heavy, then shipping cost will kill you. So this is something that you can start. Okay, you can start in your bedroom, you can move on to your living room, and then you can move it on to your garage and kick your cars outside and run it in your garage for a while. And then you might have to go on there and rent a commercial facility, be it a warehouse facility or a retail facility. And then you have the following things you need to worry about, all right? Is this strictly over the internet using some e-commerce platform that you will never need to see the customers face-to-face, all right? You might go see your vendors face-to-face, but you never see your retail customers face-to-face, okay? Then you can run it out of your personal residence using shipping companies. But what if you're selling them either retail or hotel or wholesale? And occasionally, all right, you might have some, say, wholesale buyers, and you need to see them face to face. Do you feel safe to have them to come visit you at your home, knowing that you have all this expensive inventory in your garage? All right. So have you heard? Okay, the best security is through obscurity. You don't want people to know that in your garage, beyond that just thin layer of metal door, you have all this inventory at home. All right? So you might want to go on there and rent a warehouse facility. And then you need to buy insurance. So your cost will go all the way up. And then the next thing is, if this is so labor intensive, you're going to have to start hiring employees. All right. That's another layer of complexity plus accounting. Okay. Once you start having an inventory-based business, okay, your accounting, the level of complexity with your accounting just hit the next level. And not to mention inventory control. All right. Cost accounting and inventory control. Let's say if you got 100 pairs of shoes, you paid anywhere between $100 and $200 for them. You're selling them somewhere between $200 and $300. Okay, how do you keep track of them? And how do you keep track from employee theft? Okay, so you have to consider: should I continue to run this business out of my garage? Should I go on there and rent a facility? If I'm going to go on there and rent a facility, should I rent a warehouse in a business park that's more suitable for wholesale? Or should I need to rent a facility that's more like a retail front, okay, in a shopping mall with retail customers coming in and just browse? And what about your accounting? Okay, you will definitely need to learn accounting. You will need to learn how to read income statement, balance sheet, okay? You will need to learn accounting software, okay? For example, QuickBooks, and then they have other similar products. So those are all the considerations next level up, and not to mention hiring employees. Are you going to hire them to come and work at your place? You're going to have to deal with all kinds of HR issues, all right? Government regulations. In America, you have to worry about if you should provide them with health insurance, okay, workers' compensation, and so on and so forth, okay? So the level of complexity just went a whole higher level up, okay? And not to mention your investment, okay? If you're going to rent a facility, you're going to sign a 1-year lease or a 10-year lease. A 10-year lease is a lot cheaper, but you're on the hook to pay for 10 years. What if your business does not work out? Let's say you found a nice prime retail facility that's currently vacant, okay? So, but you don't know if your idea is going to work out, okay? Should you sign 1 year or 10 year? Okay, if you sign for 1 year, what if your business takes off and you only sign for 1 year, and after 1 year, your landlord wants to rent your facility to someone else? So you're going to have to move. All right? How would that affect your business? Okay, you're going to have to inform all your existing customers that you have moved because existing customers, right, are so much better than new customers, right? This is something that you will learn when you get into marketing. It actually costs money to acquire your first customer. But once they become your customer once, it's so much easier to sell it to them again. Same merchandise or different merchandise, okay? Think of the restaurant that you like. Think of the food on the supermarket bookshelf that you like. You will go on there and buy the exact same product over and over and again and again. So you have acquired these existing customers. Now you moved, okay? How are you going to inform your existing customers? What if they don't want to go to where your new location is? So those are all your considerations when you start selling merchandise as opposed to selling yourself by the hour. Okay, but the upside with selling merchandise is you can now scale. Okay, you can now scale. Let's say you have enough capital to have 100 pairs of shoes in inventory. What if you acquired more capital and a bigger facility? Now you can have 1,000 pairs of shoes in inventory, 10,000 pairs of shoes in inventory. But where are you gonna acquire this new capital? And also, just because you were successful at 100 pairs of shoes level, okay, are you sure you're going to be successful at 1,000 pairs of shoes level? And just because your little facility was able to make it with just one retail front, is it a good idea to open up 3 more? To open up in a different city? To open up in a different state? Okay? What is the return on your investment when you started having multiple facilities, when you scale up? Quite often, the scale is not linear. You might experience diminishing rate of return, and you might even lose. You might even realize multiple facilities or scaling up is not worth it. There's also the concern with your holding cost. And also, is your merchandise the sort of merchandise that's a appreciating asset or depreciating asset? If you are selling used electronics, be they consumer products or business products or high-end communication equipment that's only used by large offices, okay, those can be depreciating asset. So as you're holding them, all right, their value just keep on dropping. So holding them 1 week is better than holding them for 3 months. Because if you hold them for a whole year, right, the depreciation might as well just kill your profit. Now, the next level up in terms of buy low, sell high is buy low and do something with it and increases value and then sell high. This can be restoration or repair, okay? So here are the considerations, all right? Let's say if you can repair and restore violin. And can you do it out of your bedroom? Yes, you probably can, okay? But what if you're a piano tuner and you're really good, you can repair and restore vintage pianos. Can you do it out of your own house? Probably, okay? But what if you restored and repaired cell phones and computers? Okay, if you specialize in buying a whole batch from a corporate decommissioned laptop and repair them, restore them, put a new operating system on it, And can you run it out of your own house? Or should you need a warehouse? Okay. You could sell them retail on some e-commerce platforms. Okay. But what if you did repair only? You actually made money from your repair. Okay. Let's say if you specialize in repair cell phones and repair laptops and all that, do you need a commercial facility? You probably would need a commercial facility to see customers, okay? Because individual customers will bring you their broken cell phones and so on and so forth. So renting that commercial facility, that is a cost, all right? And you're probably not doing a lot of buy low, sell high. You're just charging an hourly rate on repair fees or charging them by the piece, okay? But if you're doing like 1,000 used laptops from a batch of decommissioned corporate laptops, all right, you probably don't need retail to see customers. And 1,000 corporate laptops, and they're all the same, okay? You can just batch process them, okay? And what if you did fix-upper for cars, fix-uppers for houses, okay? Fix-upper for cars, well, if you restore your own hot rod from 1950s, you could do it in your personal garage. But if you did it as a business, can you do this out of your own garage? Will the neighbors complain? Will the city come crack down on you? Okay, that's another concern, okay? What if you did fix-upper for houses, run-down houses, okay? Certainly the house is not going to move, okay? And you need to be in and out of those neighborhoods all day long, all right? But then your concern is holding costs. Not to mention, funding them at fair below market value is difficult. Funding contractors, that's another game/art. There are plenty dirty games to be had with construction contractors. And then what about your holding cost? Okay, if you could turn the whole thing around in 3 months, you might make a profit. But if you turn the whole thing around in 3 years, you might lose all your profit because you got mortgage to pay, okay, even though it's a short-term loan, okay? You got mortgage to pay, you got interest, finance charge, and those short-term loans are not cheap, okay? You cannot get a commercial loan from Freddie Mac, Fannie Mae, for you fix-upper run-down house, okay? You have to go to a private lender, okay, known on the street as a loan shark. And those rates are not cheap. And you also have to pay utility, insurance, and so on and so forth, okay? So you have a holding cost that you need to consider, okay? Now, a realtor, on the other hand, okay, they have no holding cost, okay? They if they are both the listing agent and the selling agent, okay, the existing owner is holding up the holding cost, the continuous monthly mortgage payment, even if the house is empty, vacant, okay, prepped to look pretty, sitting on the market and not moving for 3 months, not moving for a year, okay? You're the realtor, you're the real estate agent, you're not paying the monthly mortgage. You have no holding cost. It's the homeowner who is holding the bag on the holding cost, okay? So if the homeowner doesn't want to, say, reduce the price and then gamble it for another month, okay, you have no skin in the game. Okay, so you have no holding cost. So when it comes to having lots and lots of inventory, and then it takes time between the inventory coming in and the inventory going out, you have holding cost to consider. And the next level of concern, okay, when you run a inventory-based business, okay, is where to obtain financing, all right? If you're holding $10,000 worth of inventory, If you're holding $100,000 worth of inventory, if you're holding $1 million worth of inventory, where do you get that $100,000, $1 million, or even $10,000? Where do you get it? All right. And also, there are clever ways of financing. Okay. For example, when you buy inventory from your supplier, do you have to pay them first, or can you pay them 3 months after they have delivered the merchandise? That is something that you can play with. Okay, if the situation is possible, you could negotiate with your supplier. But if you're buying like used electronics, used musical instruments, or even rundown houses, no, that is not an option. All right, you don't start repairing a house that's not titled under you or your entity, your company. Okay, you don't invest $10,000 or $100,000 to repair in someone else's house. And same thing with used electronics, okay, used IT equipment, used musical instruments. Those you pretty much have to pay first, and then to have them ship it out to you. And if they don't ship for 3 weeks, okay, you're just the holding cost is just eating up your capital. Okay. But occasionally, if you're a distributor of someone else's, some manufacturing company's products, okay, you could get terms from them to pay them 3 weeks later or 3 months later. So the merchandise is here that you're selling it, okay, and you don't have to pay them for 3 months. And if you're lucky, if you're smart, you sold them, you got paid, okay, you could have had no holding cost at all, because the manufacturing is holding up the holding cost. Okay. By the same token, there's the same question on the other side, which is on the selling side. Okay. Now, do you require your customers pay you first before you ship to them, or will your customer pay you after you have already shipped out to them, or maybe plus another 3 months? Okay. So if you have to pay your supplier first before they ship out to you, and then they delay their shipment for 3 weeks, and then the shipping took another 2 weeks, that's 5 weeks of your capital being tied up. And then if the merchandise sat on your shelf collecting dust for 5 weeks or 5 months, that's just all your operating capital being tied up. Now, what if you sold it, okay, and your customers don't pay you for another 3 months? And sometimes you have to, escalate the matter just to get them to pay you. That's another holding cost. So the merchandise could be just on your shelf for 5 days, but the holding time was actually 4 months, 5 months, okay, from your supplier side to your customer side. So all of those you need to take into consideration. How do you best utilize your operating capital? Okay, so what if, say, some brand, some model, some type of merchandise, there's a faster turnaround rate? Would you be willing to buy one of those, even though the margin is smaller? And then there are certain merchandises, okay, the holding time is much longer, but then the margin is higher, okay? Would you be able to gamble? Would you be willing to gamble? Okay, so there are all these factors come into play, and that's the science and the art of capital allocation. So once you get into a inventory intensive business, and capital allocation is going to be something that you will need to look into and then to master as one of your key, essential business skills. Next, What about a manufacturing business? Sure, you can run a home jewelry business, or manufacturing homemade jewelry from your home. And it's just you. And then you sell them at weekend flea markets. But a hobby is not a business. To run a real manufacturing business, you need to get out of your home and rent or buy a commercial facility and then hire employees and deal with suppliers and distributors. And just like the buy low, sell high business, okay, you deal with vendors, suppliers, you deal with customers or distributors, and then you deal with the financing on both ends. And you also pretty much you gotta have employees. With employees, you gotta have insurance for them. You gotta have worry about payroll for them. Okay, this guy needs to deduct his child support, and that guy needs to deduct his alimony. And then you're gonna have HR issues. Okay, this guy is saying that you're creating a hostile work environment and so on and so forth. You're going to need to learn how to hire the right employees, okay? And you need to design your products, okay? You need to understand customer psychology, their needs, or why would they need to buy your products. And if you use distributors, you also need to understand the distributors' psychology. Why would they be selling your products? And you will be training the distributors. You're going to have a design team, manufacturing team, marketing team, and sales team, graphic design, okay, back office, HR, payroll. That's a lot to handle. It's probably not a good idea as your very first business. Okay? What about offshore manufacturing? You design them here, and then you're going to manufacture them in a different country with cheaper cost of labor. Well, you pretty much need to have a good understanding of the other country. Okay, it would be beneficial if you spoke the language of the other country, and it's essential if you understood the laws and then the business cultures of the other country. And you got to deal with shipping the finished product back here, okay, and so on and so forth. So you need to learn financing, okay, dealing with suppliers, dealing with customers, dealing with understanding distributors, okay, understanding hiring employees, okay, all the labor laws and all the manufacturing safety laws, and then sales, okay, marketing, okay, the psychology of sales, the psychology of marketing, okay, train your salespeople, and your salespeople train your distributors, and so on and so forth, and dealing with international laws, international shipping laws, and so on and so forth. So it's probably not the first business you should get into. Okay, and manufacturing in a different country, it's actually more complicated from a business perspective than manufacturing at home in your home country. Okay, if you don't understand manufacturing at your home country, you probably cannot run manufacturing from another country. Okay, so what about a food business? Okay, let's use 3 examples. Okay, running a restaurant, or running a food truck, or running a food manufacturing business. A restaurant is really manufacturing plus retail plus on-time manufacturing. So you're manufacturing for the next 10 minutes, for the next hour. All right, you have a limited retail space. You need to worry about how many seatings can I turn every table around every night, especially Friday night and Saturday night. And you got to deal with suppliers, you got to deal with customers, you got to deal with employees, you got to deal with temperamental employees, okay, waiters and chefs, the cooking staff, okay. What if your head chef is not happy with you? What if your head chef caught in sick on a busy Friday night or Saturday night? What are you going to do? You're going to shut down? Do you know how to cook? By the way, here's the biggest folly, okay? So many people who think I'm a cook or I'm a chef, okay? I should be able to run a restaurant. No. Being able to cook and being able to run a profitable restaurant are two completely different professions. All right? Being able to cook doesn't mean you can run a restaurant. Not at all. So many cooks try to open up their own restaurants and then they fail. And then they fail miserably and then they lose their shirt. So you say, okay, I'm going to avoid all that cost with a restaurant. Signing a lease, buying expensive kitchen and signing a 10-year lease, right? And open up on whatever has to open Friday, Saturday. I'm just going to run a food truck. All right, I can be anywhere I want, wherever the city allow me. Okay, still you have to deal with all of that concerns. Okay, supplier, customer, the cook, the truck, licensing, permits. Okay, you need to understand all of them, and how many burgers or tacos or whatever can you sell a night at a given location, and so on and so forth. And the accounting, all right? The accounting is not going to be easy. And also employee theft, okay? Did you know that in all the high-end restaurants, all the prime beef and all that, that's all under lock and key. Okay? So a restaurant is really just an on-time manufacturing with a retail at the front. Okay, food truck is easier. Okay, or you could just be a manufacturing of some frozen food. Okay, that you become manufacturing. You're gonna deal with employees and food regulations and everything else. It's probably not a good idea for you to jump in there as your very first business. Okay. There's a lot involved. It involves pretty much everything I've talked about up to this point and plus some. Okay? Now, what about tech startup? Okay? So many young people, they have an idea and then they want to be the next tech startup. I'm going to be the next whatever. Okay? Now, with tech startups, okay, it's not as easy as it seems. All right? For starters, there's a long cycle to get it going, which means you're going to need a lot of money, which means before you do anything, you got to talk to investors and sell investors your idea. And you need to understand, why would an investor invest with your idea but not the other person's idea? Why would they invest at all? Is it for financial return? Or is it for something else? Something to do with emotional values. All right? You need to understand the life and the world of people at that level. If you don't understand the psychology that's going on with investors, okay, you cannot talk to them and talk to their heart and make them want to risk $1 million of their money with you, be it individual investor or institutional investor. Okay, that's a whole world that you need to understand. And now, after you get the investment, okay, do you have the operational authority? Or that's something you need to negotiate with the investors. Okay, and well, do you have management experience? Do you know how to develop a large software? All right. Do you know how to manage software developers? Do you understand the cycle of software development? And do you know how to manage them onshore, offshore? Have you managed teams with a 12-hour time difference? Okay. And those are all the experiences and the knowledge that you would need to have. And if your platform has two parties, okay, like eBay, sellers and buyers, okay, you need to understand how to promote your platform to both parties. Because if you're missing one side, you only got seller, you got no buyer, you only got content creator, you got no content consumer, you're going to be in a lot of trouble. So you need to understand the psychology of both sides, content creator and content consumer. All right? And there's a lot more. Quite often, okay, you need to know if you want to hold on to it for yourself for the long run, or you really want just to sell your own idea, and essentially you're flipping your own idea. And quite often people would like to hold on to their idea, but they lose control, all right? Because they're young, they're not experienced, and the investors, the institutional investors, they have their agenda. They won't let you know what their true agenda is, what their long-term plan is. They're seeing things 10, 20, 30, 40, 100 steps ahead of you. And they've done this 100 times. 100 times just last year. And this is your first time. So you don't know what you're doing. And you end up losing your shirt. And it's now a profitable business, but you have nothing to do with it. Somehow you ended up losing the thing that you invented. Okay? Now, people ask me, what if I just buy a business, buy an existing business? Okay? Have you looked into the criteria McDonald's has for people to come buy one of their businesses? Okay? They require you to have business experience. All right? It's like you're going to buy a car, but you don't know how to drive. All right? So what's the purpose of buying a car if you don't know how to drive? Well, I'm going to hire someone to drive for me. If you're that rich, okay, you can afford to hire someone to drive for you. Why do you need a car? Why don't you just go every time you need to get somewhere, just get a taxi, get Uber, get Lyft, get whatever, get a hired car, get a limo for the day, get a limo for the week, okay? If you don't know how to drive, there's no point buying yourself a car, okay? Now, if you have not had a business of your own, all right, there's no point buying a business, okay? There are two types of business for sale. The idea is when you buy a turnkey business, okay, you set it up, and the business is designed so you are never there, all right? So those businesses are very expensive to buy, right? However, there are some cheap businesses for you to buy, but you will have to work it. Essentially, you just bought yourself a job, okay? Jobs are free. Why do you pay $30,000, $50,000, or even $5,000 to buy a job that you will have to work it, okay, every day for of the week? You didn't buy a business. You bought a job. Jobs are free. All right? You don't have to pay to buy a job. So, if your idea is eventually you want to be something like a McDonald's owner or something like that, okay, you need to start your own business. Okay? Have you heard? Okay? If you cannot start a business with no money, you cannot start a business with money. Okay? You cannot run a profitable business. You will lose that business. There are stories all over the place. Some rich kid, okay, inherited a business, and he has MBA, whatever, finance degree, a PhD in economics, and full of book knowledge, and he took over daddy's business empire, multi-billion-dollar, trillion-dollar business empire, and then he lose the whole thing in 2 weeks, and then he just laugh about it. Okay, so if you cannot build a business from scratch when you have no capital, okay, when you are under resourced, all right, you cannot take over a multi-billion-dollar business. You cannot run a big business. Okay, building your own business from scratch is an essential skill that you must have. And there are plenty existing business today. They are big today, but they started 100 years ago in someone's garage. It was just 1 or 2 guys tinkering about something. And then they started from there, and they snowballed. And along the way, over the past 10 years, over the past 100 years, they had plenty of successes, and they also had plenty of failures. And then they learned from their successes, but most importantly, they learned from their failures. That's why they have the knowledge, they have the insight, they have the wisdom. They know what to do. They know what not to do. They know how to lose your shirt, okay? They know how to deal with good times. They know how to deal with bad times. When politicians mess up the economy again, and they know how to endure tough times and not to lose their business. Okay? Those knowledge, those wisdoms, those insights can only be gained by starting your own business from scratch with no money and very little other resources. And it forces you to be resourceful, okay, to be inventive, to be creative, okay. You build your resilience, and you become stronger, wiser, and smarter, and more capable. Okay, it's like learning how to ride a bicycle. You gotta fall off a couple of times before you're able to ride and call yourself a rider, okay? One more thing, okay? When you're trying to start your own business, your own very first business of your own for the first time, transitioning from a corporate citizen, a knowledgeable worker, a professional, an employee into your own boss, okay? You cannot and you shouldn't be copying large corporations, okay? Because they are not you, all right? They are not where you are. They've been around for 100 years, okay? They have very deep pockets. They have a lot of information. They have a lot of connection, and they are well established, okay, with roots that go down very, very deep and reaches out far. Their marketing, their sales, okay, their product design, and so on and so forth, okay, you cannot copy them. Whatever it is they do, it does not apply to you. It's not the same, okay? It's like maintaining a 5-star hotel with 1,000 rooms versus maintaining your own personal residence, okay? It's not the same, all right? They have professionals. They have on-site employees doing the maintenance, okay? And you have a personal home. You personally go to Home Depot if you have a toilet leak. It's not the same, okay? And also many of your good habits you developed as a professional, okay? You have to unlearn them if you want to start your own business, because employee mindset and a business owner mindset are completely two different mindsets. They are not the same, okay? Employees will do something or do nothing and expect to get paid regardless of the result, okay, or the lack of result. But as a business owner, okay, if you don't generate profit, okay, you don't get paid. But you still have to pay your own employees. You still have to pay the rent if you rented a commercial facility, okay? You cannot go to the landlord of your facility, your warehouse, you cannot go to employees and tell them, sorry guys, my idea hasn't worked out yet, and I don't have any money. Okay, or the customer is delaying their payment. They got the products, they liked it, but they haven't paid me yet. Okay, or the bank is putting a hold on such a large payment. Okay, $10,000, $1 million. It's the first time such a large amount of money is coming into my account. So the bank is putting a hold on it. Okay, for a day, for a week. Okay, so since the bank is holding on my money, I cannot pay you, my employees, because no. That is not an option, all right? Whether you make it or not, you have to pay your employees. But if you're an employee of a corporation, okay, whether your idea worked or not, okay, you get paid. That's just one example of the employee mindset does not apply to being a business owner. Okay, that's just an example. So what I'm trying to say is you need to unlearn a lot of the thinking, even good thinking for you if you are an employee, and relearn, okay, a whole new set of thinking, a whole new set of mindset as a business owner. Because your mindset as an employee, it doesn't apply to your new position as a business owner anymore. So I wish you the best in your endeavor to start your own business, okay? And it's just like a great escape. And there's a lot of fun to be had, okay? Escaping your life as a corporate citizen. Have you seen the classic movie, The Great Escape? If you have not, okay, the story is about a bunch of Allied POWs in a German POW camp, okay, and they all escaped, right? And then after breaking out of camp, okay, they all had different ideas, okay? Some guy was a pilot, okay, he got shot down, all right? So how do you think he's going to escape? He's going to steal a German airplane. He's going to steal one of their airplanes because he's a pilot, okay? That's his forte, okay? And some guy, okay, not a pilot, okay, don't know how to fly airplanes, so he stole a German motorcycle. Okay? That's his escape vehicle, okay, getaway vehicle. He stole a German motorcycle, okay. And another guy, okay, I don't have a motorcycle, okay, so he stole a bicycle, okay. He rode it all the way, right? And then there are people who can't fly airplane, okay, can't ride a motorcycle, and don't have a bicycle, okay, but I speak perfect German and perfect French. So I am going to be pretending, all right, I'm going to pretend to be a German and to be a French, right, with a bunch of fake IDs, all right? That's how I'm going to escape, right? By using my language skills, right, by pretending to be a local civilian. So what do you have? Okay, what's your forte and what's your weaknesses? All right, well, what's your piano and what's your forte? Okay, it's everyone's situation is different. Okay, and everyone has their own forte. What is forte to them? So utilize what you have and utilize your situation. All right, and use them for your own great escape. All right, go for freedom, be your own boss, and get away from the shackle of the corporate life.